Global. Support local. It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The move.
You might not be an A, but you are a B plus.
Check it out. Here we go. You wanna mess with us? 'Cause we're slanging on the ground.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Does Things, here to do the thing where we do the thing, where we talk about this week in pro wrestling. Joining me, Pineapple Ben. Why is your name tag still Pineapple Ben? I'm very disorganized today.
Should be asking you that exact same question.
Yeah, I'm very disorganized.
Benny the ref today.
Benny the ref.
And look where I am, the TCW headquarters.
Coming to us live from TCW headquarters.
Yes.
That's impressive.
On day's training.
Spent a couple of hours there this morning, so
Yep.
I'm back here tonight.
You're not breaking any restrictions to be there?
No, definitely not.
And over in Western Australia, where there are also no restrictions because none of us live in that crazy wild state of Victoria, Mr. Mysterious, how you doing, buddy?
Happy to not be in Victoria. Thank you for asking. No,
Right?
we're going really well actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good thing to not be in Victoria at the moment. What is going on over there? Like, everything was fine, and then
Someone broke quarantine in a hotel room.
people sleeping with sleeping
With
with the
Frozen?
guests or something, or
I think Greg got frozen.
I
Oh,
got.
no, he's back.
You're kidding.
There
me.
we go.
There's no way I'm frozen.
No,
Okay.
now you're moving.
You were
That's all right.
frozen. You were frozen. All
Yes.
good.
I thought your computer died again.
Man,
Yeah.
brand new computer, and it just crapped itself, erasing all the work I'd done to set up for the show. And so I had to rush around setting up the show. So that's why we're late again today. Well, not again, but that's why we're late today, people. Yeah, no, on the stream, it's telling me that we're on Be Right Back. That's so weird. Okay. Better late than never, and hopefully everything holds up, because I don't know why it did that. I have no idea. This is a new computer. I'm very frustrated. Yeah.
Luckily, we're working through all the trials and tribulations with everyone today. So
It's been a couple of weeks. We took last week off. Just I don't think any of us really wanted to talk about wrestling.
no.
Yes. Thankfully, it's been a smaller news week. You know, there's plenty of news, but there's no industry-changing stories.
We had to let everything run its course at the moment, and yeah, everything's still going along.
Just needed some time to breathe, you know.
Yeah.
Because obviously the last episode we did was we had a round table recently with our Indigenous workers after all the Black Lives Matter stuff, because the world itself is crazy. 2020 is crazy. The world is ending.
We're over halfway now. It's going to be all good. we're on the
Who has
downhill
murder?
climb.
Who has murder hornets for July? Zombie
Here's-
apocalypse for
Here's the thing,
September.
like, it's like the roller coaster's gone up, and now we're on the down. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck's the down gonna be? You know, there's gonna be a civil war come November over in America, but you know, thankfully that's far and far away from us. We'll probably be in the middle of pandemic round 2 while they do civil war. That's
It's all good in Tassie. So just steering clear of all that bad stuff.
yeah. Obviously, then the speaking out stuff happened, and we did do an episode. You know, all your faves are problematic, holds true.
Yep.
And it kept going. It just kept going. It kept going. We talked about it on the show, you know, 2 weeks ago, and we said, you know, it's a developing situation, obviously. And by the time the next week rolled around and allegations were still coming out, we were like, let's just
Like, can we really do the exact same thing again?
no,
Yeah.
yeah. It was one of those situations where we're like, let's just leave it for the week. Our voices aren't the best voices either. I mean, people should check out Shazza McKenzie released a podcast this week. You know, I heard That's So Shazza podcast. I should have a picture here for that, but again, computer crashed. So definitely check out That's So Shazza, because she has a great episode. She's a voice that I would listen to. Any of the women's wrestling podcasts that are out there, Grit and Glitter is one that I know of that I quite enjoy. They're worth listening to because they follow this stuff. But you know, I just didn't think we could say the same thing, because we just sort of yelled into the void for an hour last time.
Yeah,
and
essentially.
didn't think it was worth doing the same thing again.
Was there any major news in the last week over people? I think Mike Quackenbush might have been like probably the bigger name.
Yeah,
I
so
feel like not much else had happened
the big
that I'm aware of.
heartbreaking
Anyway.
ones for me was finding out about Mike Quackenbush and that Chikara is just
Done.
Chikara is a cesspool apparently, and Wrestling Go here in Australia, which is very Chikara-esque, and it just makes it's like, well, holy fuck! Like, I just want family-friendly, fun wrestling. Like, is that? Can we not just have actual family-friendly, fun wrestling with people that we can trust around our goddamn children, please? As a father, those two hit me pretty hard, and as a huge Chikara fan as well. But yeah, I got a question for you guys though. Have the women gone too far?
Is this a genuine question that people? Is this on Twitter? People have been saying this sort of nonsense.
Have the women gone too far? I mean, at this point, what's going to be left of wrestling? What's going to be left?
Is this Hulk Hogan that said this or not?
I don't know.
It sounds like a bit of a Hulk.
It's a bit of a Hulk Hogan voice, isn't it? Maybe I should give it a bit more southern twang too, so it's got some Jim Cornette in it. I don't even know if I can do it. Well, let me tell you something, Brad. That's just Hulk Hogan. That's all it is. It's Hulk Hogan.
You got to go a bit higher, I think, for Cornette, and have some racism in there as well.
Can anyone do Jim Cornette? Come on, hit me.
No, I've never tried.
I wouldn't be able to do it for the life of me. But no, obviously there's people that are like, the women's are taking it too far. Just shut up already. And you guys didn't see any of these takes online?
I guess it's the same as All Lives Matter, is it? That women are going
those kind of takes you just try and kind of steer clear of, and yeah.
No, I don't think it is the same as All Lives Matter, because All Lives You're an idiot. And like there have been some allegations thrown out there as part of the speaking out thing, which have been proven to be false.
Yes. Even
right here in Australia, Adonis up in Queensland had an accusation against him, and he produced screenshots. And this is the thing is we talk about, well, not we, I definitely don't talk about this, but there are people out there that say you can't ask for receipts, you can't ask for evidence, that's just forcing them to relive the trauma. And whilst I understand this, I do understand that side of things. If you aren't going to produce any evidence, but someone produces evidence that says that you're lying, then you're lying. I'm sorry. You're lying. And it does happen, and people get mad at you for saying that. People get mad at you for saying that it does happen, that women do lie. But let's face it, women are people. People can lie, and there have been some instances of people using the hashtag and using what is a valid, important movement to clean up an industry that, from the looks of things, desperately needed some fucking cleaning up, right? Listening to Shazza talk about how happy they are, like as a women's wrestling community, that they don't have to see Joey Ryan in locker rooms anymore, right? Things like that, like desperately needed to be cleaned up. And when you jump on this movement and jump on this hashtag with things that are provably and proven false, you're doing damage not only to yourself, because you're a fucking idiot, but you're doing damage to the entire movement, because it gives ammo to those idiots that are going and having their fucking aneurysms online. Like, those fucking people get ammunition because look at this one and look at that one. They lied. Just don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't jump on a hashtag and try to solve your personal vendettas.
Yeah, like Shazza and like other female wrestlers have been making a point not to hijack the hashtag and whatnot for their own vendettas. So
yeah, absolutely. Like, only. So Adam in the chat says it was his fault there was technical issues. Fuck you, Adam. I love you. Thanks for listening. I don't know how it was his fault, but no, like, just hijacking it to settle your grudges, never acceptable.
Yeah.
Never, ever acceptable. And so, fuck those people. But we still support the women who are speaking out with their true and often harrowing stories. And fuck the abusers, let's get them out. And there's a lot of work to do to clean up wrestling. I think that's about everything we can say about speaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple of big things. Marty Skrull. There were a bunch of apologies. Lots of notepad screenshots on Twitter.
Yes.
Lots of notepad screenshots of, I've been silent this week because I wanted to give it room to let everyone. You were hoping it died down. Let's not lie. Joey Ryan had an apology that was quickly rebuffed and called out as being bullshit. Matt Riddle, I think, did he apologize? I don't know. There's been so many names.
He's all lawyered up, and WWE knew about that stuff already. So
I think a lot of the WWE stuff is kind of just no one saying anything. It's like there were some names
probably
mentioned.
been told not to say anything.
A few people got fired. Apparently,
Yes.
was it Jack Gallagher? Apparently, they called him into the office and go, "Is it true?" And he goes, "Yeah." It's a bit
He was
true,
straight. He was out the door pretty quick.
they just fucking just go on. Travis Banks was fired, I believe.
Joe Coffey.
Joe Coffey fired. At this point, get rid of NXT UK and let's finally get that NXT women's brand that I've been rallying for years. Let's do that.
Be a lovely idea. Yeah.
Like, make some good out of it, because WWE aren't doing good out of it at all. But the other big one was Marty Skrull. Marty Skrull obviously now in a position of power with Ring of Honor. And he had some apologies. You've got him there, Mr. Mysterious? You got the apologies that he had there?
I got a couple because he said he said a batch for three.
He said all. Now you make a Mysterious read a notepad screenshot apology. These things are long.
Yeah.
Well, give us the highlights. Give us the highlights. What's the gist?
What's the cliff notes?
Yeah.
So he's aware of the allegation of abuse with someone who was then 16 when he was wrestling in the UK, and he said he believed the encounter was consensual, and he was ending it to say, "What concerns me is that she was made to feel unsafe when she was a fan," and then like saying some nice things, is like don't attack her for expressing herself or saying these things. Like, this isn't about that. And trying to put himself off as an advocate. But yeah, he's saying how, he thought that she wasn't 16, and even though it was technically consensual, is not the point.
And I think 16 is not illegal in the UK or wherever it was at the time.
No.
I think it was more that she was under the influence of alcohol. I think that was like
something to that effect. Yeah,
the main point of it. So I'm not sure.
But I mean, it's one of those things, like the age of consent is such a grey thing in so many countries because it's different everywhere. And then you can say it doesn't matter if it's legal because she's 16. It's immoral still. It's like, well, who are you to say what is or isn't? There's so many fucking. It's disgusting just to talk about. Like, there's so much.
Yeah.
It's a minefield, and it's rough. But I thought that the apology didn't feel sincere. It felt like someone there was no. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the one looking at it right in front of you, Mysterious. But there was no I've done something wrong.
It's like he's like, apologies for if you're unknowingly contributing to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's not like a proper I'm sorry I did this kind of thing.
Like an unknowingly contributing. Unknowingly.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the word that made a lot of people, because a lot of people did not like this apology. A lot of people were like, "Fuck you, Marty Skrull."
No one's gonna. They're not gonna jump on board. It's like, yeah, that's all right then. Like, it's just, it was never gonna go like that. Not for any single person that's been accused of anything.
Well, because
they're all automatically guilty of everything.
But that does raise the question of what can you do? Someone puts your name out there as part of the speaking out, and what can you do? Do you just go, okay, well, I'm done. That's it. My life's over. I'm gonna go get a job at a factory. Like, is that the expectation? I don't. It's so.
Do you think Marty Skrull's anything gonna change for him? Is he still gonna keep that position? And if anything was gonna happen, it would have happened by now, wouldn't it?
They're investigating it now, so they've been pretty quiet because he made that statement about a few days ago, maybe a week ago now. So
So a lot of AEW and stuff have gone to re-education camps or whatever.
Sensitivity training,
sensitivity training.
I heard on Voices of Wrestling or somewhere, Jimmy Havoc has said he's resigned or retired from wrestling.
Last I
Because-
saw, he went to rehab. That's
Yeah, that's all I heard.
Oh, well, on Voices of Wrestling today, they said that
I haven't done listen yet.
he's announced his resignation, retirement,
Okay.
Retirement.
because yeah, I don't know if you want to do a quick search on Jimmy Havoc and see if there's something public out there now.
No, I can have a look.
Yeah.
I can check to see. But we did have yeah. So a lot of the AEW ones, I still like the idea of calling it re-education camp.
Yeah. Where's the line there? No.
So June 20? No, that's a while ago. Jimmy Havoc. No, still the last thing I'm seeing here is Jimmy Havoc to undergo counseling.
Okay.
Wait, let me hit the news tab and see if the news tab has anything newer. AEW finally breaks silence following abuse allegations. That's on the 20th. 22nd. Jimmy Havoc on leave. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing
Before we
else.
move on from this subject, Zack Sabre Jr. hasn't been accused of anything, but for somebody that's really on top of all social issues, he hasn't said fucking jack shit about this.
he's been very quiet.
Yes, all his British pals.
But and that's another thing is the whole silence is violence or compliance or whatever the phrase. I don't know, but like I don't necessarily believe that either because it's a matter of maybe you just don't know what to fucking say, right?
Yeah,
like
That's valid,
you're
yeah.
reading this stuff about a bunch of your friends and you want to go, oh, hang on, I know that bloke and I don't think, but then if you say that you're an asshole, and if you condemn them, well then you're a bad friend too because you don't necessarily know for sure. It's a minefield. I don't blame anyone for staying silent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Hangman Adam Page, he didn't have anything come out against him, but he deleted Twitter.
Yeah.
did he? Okay.
Yeah, just deleted Twitter. I think a few people did because I think there's a lot going on and maybe you don't want to deal with it. I mean, we unplugged. I didn't watch wrestling for well over a week. Today was the first day I watched wrestling since the last podcast we did. Or yesterday, sorry, was the first day. Because it's just been hard.
And it's good to have that time away as well.
Yeah.
Because it can get a bit much. Like I've unplugged from Twitter and I feel a lot better.
The less I was saying to a friend yesterday, the less I'm online, the better I feel. I'm just it's go out and skate.
At the same time, you've also got to face the reality. You can't just hide away from it.
Yeah,
so
no, you can't put
it's
your
a bit
head
of
in your sand.
It's both worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't put your head in the sand, and you do have to address it. And I think we have. And so I think we can move on. Well, on the topic of Marty Scurll and his position of power, he has let Bully Ray's contract expire. Did you guys see this?
No, I didn't know anything
Briefly,
about it. I forgot Bully Ray was even there. Like, what's his position with?
He's
of Honor.
oh, that's the wrong article. Spoiler alert. Yeah, no. So here we go. Bully Ray
Literally, spoiler alert for that one.
Bully Ray officially gone from Ring of Honor. So Bully Ray did a lot for Ring of Honor. I don't know who wrote this article. What's the byline? Where's the byline? H. Jenkins. Bully Ray did a lot for Ring of Honor. He was able to elevate stars during his time with the company.
He dragged fans backstage and
No.
threatened them. That's what he did in Ring of Honor.
I disagree.
Disagree on that
Disavow.
point.
Absolutely not. But the crunch of the article, though, Wrestling Observer newsletter noted, this is ringside news, so what do you expect? Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that ROH decided to let Bully Ray's contract expire. So he was heavily involved in creative, to your point there, Ben. But once Marty took over, I believe he was no longer held any power, and so it was just a matter of time before disappearing.
I feel like anything that I see that Bully Ray is saying online is questionable. So I don't think they're going to miss out on much.
Did he have anything to say about speaking out? Because I guarantee you it would not have been good.
Didn't he put some senior citizen through a table once or twice? So I don't know, I'm sure he's abused some women in that way.
No, look, allegedly.
Allegedly.
We gotta. You notice there's no allegations coming out about people from the 80s and 90s and stuff. That was a different time. I don't know.
Imagine the shit they got away with back then because just
Yeah, because no
social
one
media
could
and whatnot.
screenshot anything. So
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so he's gone, and honestly, Ring of Honor's better for it. So, however you feel about Marty Scurll and his apology and his actions in his time in the UK, how old was he when it happened? Do we know?
It was like over 5 years ago, wasn't it? I think.
Because I think that's relevant as well. But I don't
I
know.
think it might have been 2012. I'm not sure.
So
I don't know why I'm pulling that out from.
I do
late
listen to
20s, early 30s.
yeah. Okay. I do listen to some conspiracy podcasts, right?
Oh, here we go.
Shocking.
Here we go. Tinfoil hat Greg. Conspiracy Greg coming out to play. No. I thought it was interesting. They talked about statute of limitations, right? And how there's laws and statutes of limitations on things. And he was like, there should be statute of limitations on like how far back you can go to cancel people. Right?
Okay.
And so they're like, if it happened, I think that they came to the conclusion if it happened 12 years ago or more, you can safely assume the person's changed and grown.
If you said something stupid on a podcast so many X amount of years ago, then it can't come up to cancel your stand-up comedy career or your wrestling career.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so for example, what's it?
To
Jimmy,
a point.
To a point, like Jimmy Fallon or Sarah Silverman or whatever doing blackface 20 years ago, right? In the late 90s. Do you cancel them over that now? Like, they're clearly different people. I don't know.
It shouldn't have even flown in the 90s. What the hell?
No, fair. Absolutely fair. But as well, they're not doing that egregious one where it's like the big red lips or anything. They're doing impersonations of people, right? Which, like, I just did an impersonation of Hulk Hogan. One day, if Hulk Hogan somehow becomes a protected class, like, do I get cancelled now? Because I just impersonated Hulk Hogan. What about when there's only 5 rednecks left in the world? Is it racist and bad to go, well, hot damn, son. You know what I mean? Like, are people going to cancel people from back in time for doing redneck stereotype? I don't know, man. I think a statute of limitations is a good idea.
It's maybe they've gone through re-education training during that time as well. So
They might have gone to a re-education camp.
yeah,
At the camp.
We don't know. In the chat, Matthew Stacey is telling us that he is going to an EPW show tonight. Wrestling hath returned to Australia, Mr. Mysterious.
kind of. Members only shows at the moment.
Big
So obviously
caveats. Yeah.
smaller addendum. Yeah, smaller shows, obviously with handful of people. But dribs and drabs, wrestling is coming back in Australia, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, which is great. So we did want to talk about that. We should have done that. That should have been the first thing we talked about, Australian wrestling. But there's not a whole lot going on, with Australian wrestling. I think Australian wrestling have handled the speaking out stuff fairly well as well. Both MCW and PWA are putting out statements, working on a code of ethics. They're working with HR people. They're working with women-led, like roller derby, which is a women's-led sport. They're working with them and taking advice from them and actually putting codes of ethics in and structures that are sort of similar to corporate HR structures. So that's a very positive step for our scene. And so I'm very interested to see how things progress with that. And it's kind of good that it's happened at this point in time because everyone's got time to enact the change that they need to. No one's worried about booking right now. So,
No.
So get the structures into place. But getting back to the news here, where does Bully Ray land? Does he go back to WWE? Does
Impact,
Does
I think,
anyone care?
probably. Impact will take anybody, I suppose.
They
If they're doing
actually
this
fire
aces and
people,
eights thing, then
so-
obviously you'd be there for that.
They are teasing an Aces and Eights reunion at Slammiversary for Impact Wrestling in a couple weeks. So he was the president. I don't think he's going to be back though. Maybe an appearance, but it's a hard one. That one.
Aces and Eights 2020. That's what everyone asked for. Everyone.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a Sons of Anarchy reboot as well? Is that? Can we get a Sons
Well,
of...
Sons of Anarchy did have a reboot. It had the Mayans, so maybe this is the Mayans version.
Oh, that was a spin-off.
Yeah, the
and a
spin-off
reboot,
spin-off
very
version
Spin-off's
of.
not a reboot.
I
Ace
never
and Eight,
watched it.
yeah.
Though. I watched every episode of Sons of Anarchy, but I never watched Mains.
I've watched one episode of The Mayans on Foxtel, and I was like, "Oh, this looks really good," and then I never got back to it. But I do plan on getting back to it because I do like Alvarez, and so it was like Sons of Anarchy was a great show. Aces and Eights,
Was
yeah, Aces and
until that
Eights,
last season.
not so much.
Yeah.
Aces and Eights, not so much. But so you reckon he ends up at Impact?
For
Yeah,
a brief
why not?
stint. For a brief stint. Like, I don't think he'll be wrestling. So if he is going to go back there, I don't think he's going to be wrestling.
Yeah, I could see it happening. I could see it happening. Him being like an authority figure type of. Gross though, gross, because he was really bad in Ring of Honor. I think it's time to just hang up the boots, hang up the chain, call it a day.
Devon's retired, so maybe.
Yeah, Yeah, retire alongside him. Let's talk about Tessa Blanchard.
Yes.
Looking at Impact.
Looking at Impact.
We see her here on the screen holding up the Impact World Championship. First woman to hold a major world championship, and it's gone.
But isn't she still in possession of it because she's stuck in Mexico? Unless she's going to like post it back or something.
Hopefully she posts it back. That might be an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they just get a new belt. Didn't they have Moose walking around with the old one anyway?
Moose has the old one at the moment. He's defending the original TNA Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, and so what are they doing to replace her?
So what they've done, but initially what was going to happen at Slammiversary was going to be a fatal 5-way between Tessa, Michael Elgin, Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Trey Miguel. Now, Michael Elgin has left Impact because of allegations from speaking out against him. And
old allegations
Tessa,
that people knew about for years.
Yeah. The old ones, old stories. Yeah.
And now Tessa's left the company, so they changed that to a fatal 4-way where Trey, Ace Austin, and Eddie Edwards are still in, but there's going to be a mystery fourth person as well. So one of these
ex-WWE people, maybe.
Yeah, that's the idea anyway.
EC3, right?
That's my thinking. It has to be. Like, he did a promo a couple days ago that was like littered with AEW like teasers and imagery and everything else, but he's got an Impact. I think he's just having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Too obvious then.
I mean, I would rather see him in AEW because AEW is the one that like AEW and NWA. They are the two wrestling promotions that I enjoy at the moment.
Yes, but at the same time, NWA is not NWA right now. It's the talk shows,
baby.
Yeah, Carneyland.
Carneyland, which I watched the first week of, but again, with everything happening in the world, unplugged completely, so haven't paid attention to it. But I might go back. Like, it's all archived on YouTube, right? So I might go back and check it out. But I enjoyed Carneyland. I enjoy NWA in general. I'd like to see EC3 in AEW, I think, but he can waltz into that world championship and he could potentially rejuvenate the company. Potentially.
He had the best times of his career there. They would love, like, they have a horrible history with their world champions.
Yeah. He's also related to Dixie Carter, which is hilarious to me.
Sorry, what was that?
In Impact canon, he's related to Dixie Carter, right?
That's Ethan Carter III. Yeah.
Yeah, she's his aunt.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know. I've just always found that hilarious. Like, whenever they bring someone in as someone's relative, I'm just like, how are you going to do this? Like, long term, like, just imagine we just found, like, a long-lost McMahon brother just introduced. Like, what are you going to do with this? It makes no sense.
Well, they can introduce McMahon's actual real brother. They've never introduced him in WWE yet, but...
Whose brother?
Vince McMahon. He has an actual brother. You know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, he's not in wrestling at all, and just yeah.
And there's the other sibling that's not involved either.
Yeah. So the mystique of Mr. McMahon is that he's this like entity, he's this one only child thing, but no, he's got siblings. It's just one of those things.
It's a weird thing to think about.
Yeah, very weird. Very weird. Adam in the chat says the Smart Dollars is possibly Eric Young.
He's appearing. They tease Super Eric, not Eric Young.
Okay.
So, like, there's a whole bunch of teasers. So, Heath Slater, who's going by Heath Miller now, he's likely to go and join Rhino.
I got kids.
Yeah. The Good Brothers seems like a done deal at this point.
For Impact, yeah.
But yeah, there's so many that Impact have got they've got the pick of the litter, essentially. They can do what they want right now.
I thought the Good Brothers would wind up in New Japan or AEW.
And it looks like they might. So that the rumors going around at the moment is Impact, to get them to work for Impact, they're making a deal where they can do Impact and New Japan, because obviously Bullet Club, and the thing about having the brothers in Impact is because Gallows was actually part of the Aces and Eights, which is what they're trying to tease. So
yeah. Have
There's going to
MLW
be a
picked
fucking
anyone
lot
up?
of people in Bullet Club when it's a full roster again.
Have MLW picked anyone up? Let's.
Well, they've signed a couple people, but they're not, because there's no shows. So
Yeah.
they have announced like new people coming in. So,
Fair
but
enough.
no one that's been released from anywhere.
All right. Well, moving on from Impact, we got some New Japan to talk about. What's been this is all you, Benny the Ref, formerly known as Ben Tokyo. What do you got for us in the way of New Japan?
Well, the New Japan Cup, it's come down to the final. That'll be on next Saturday night when we're recording. Actually, would have just about happened, I think, next week. But apart from what I talked about previously, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, there's been not many highlights at all.
Yeah.
Like there was the opening 2 shows had probably the best matches so far, and all second round, third round, fourth round ones, they've just like been very underwhelming. I don't know if it's partly the matchups or the crowd, lack of crowd, But from the matches I didn't talk about last time, Sho and Shingo Takagi are like pretty much the only other match you need to see.
Yeah.
And like my favorite match has been the match with the 52 versus 50-year-old Nagata and Suzuki match. That's been my favorite one. But
I thought it was strange when I asked you for recommendations to check out.
Yeah, I gave you 2.
You gave me 2. And I was like, I didn't even have time to check out either of them, to be honest with you, because I was watching that Undertaker documentary right up until we went to air. But
I really enjoyed Honma versus Hiromu. So Hiromu dragging.
I have heard about that one, yeah.
Yeah, that was from the first night, I think, as well. Surprisingly, Hiromu made it pretty far to the semi-finals. So Hiromu's path was he bet Honma, then bet Yano in a comedy match, then beat Ishii. Like I thought Ishii definitely going to beat that. So he's beaten 3 heavyweights there. One is like an old, almost crippled guy, and then a comedy guy, and then Ishii, which is like one of the legit tough guys. But then I didn't see it live because he had his match against Okada last night, and I was just sort of trying to avoid spoilers. And I thought that from everything I was seeing on Twitter and Facebook, I thought that Hiromu had won the match. So then I watched it this morning, and I was very surprised that Hiromu had actually lost in that match against Okada.
Yeah.
Just from skimming stuff. So the final is Okada versus Evil, and Evil has not had any worthwhile or notable matches worth going back and watching in this tournament.
I do love
Evil. He did beat Yoshihashi in 2 minutes because Yoshihashi injured his knee the night before.
Yeah.
Against Bushi, and so Evil just came out and just smashed the shit out of him with a chair a bunch of times, and then the referee just stopped it. So
Yoshihashi and Yo both injured, right?
Yeah, I didn't see Yo's injury. That must have been way back a couple weeks ago in his first match, because I don't think he's been in any of the tag matches that have been on the shows.
Right.
Do we see some LIJ Civil War? Do you think?
Well, Evil's got to win it because everyone's just saying this is crazy that Okada would face Naito again already and not be in the Tokyo Dome. I think they can have like 3,400 people, 1/3 capacity for Osaka Joe Hall.
So you think that they were building to Evil and Naito?
Yeah, just I would have preferred Nagata should have won this.
Yeah.
Get one last big run.
Get another big Blue Justice run.
And put Naito over, but that's a match you can throw away on a 3rd capacity show.
Yeah, so, I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah. When I looked at the initial lineup, it's like I definitely wasn't looking at Nagata, but after that first match, I'm like, yeah, go all the way with him. But alas, it's not happening. So.
All right, so a couple of matches there to check out over in Japan. Sticking in Japan though, moving away from New Japan, but sticking in Japan. Back to the death of Hana Kimura. Obviously, the tragic death of Hana Kimura a few weeks ago, which we talked about on the show. The traditional period of grieving for I believe they're Buddhist family, and so they tend to go silent for a certain specific period. That's over, and her family have started speaking to the press, and my Switch. It goes to this, even though I was on a different tab. I don't know why that's happening, but here we go. So Hana Kimura's mother says she asked Bushiroad for help. So Bushiroad, obviously the parent company of Stardom and the parent company of New Japan Pro Wrestling in finding truth about her daughter's death, and they refused. So I asked Bushi Road for cooperation to find out the truth, but they refused. They have told me to hold memorial events and make money by selling goods. After the incident, those who used her to make money ran away to avoid their responsibilities. I want them to feel responsible. I strongly hope no one will have the same experience as my daughter in the future. So
what does she really want them to do, though? Like, find out the truth?
what's the truth that she's after? That's
Yeah.
the question.
There was another interview where it was something the mother was talking to some of the other cast members, I think, or people behind the scene on Terrace House,
Terrace House. So here...
and how it got them to like fabricate all these
so we do
reality
have that here as well.
TV cause conflicts. Like, everybody knows every reality show does that shit. So
Yeah, but they specifically
big
wanted her
surprise.
to be the heel. Like, it was a concocted storyline. Like, sometimes they edit it to make people look a certain way or the other way. But this was a concocted storyline that the producer came to her and goes, you know what would be great for drama on the show if we do this? And then that leads to her being the bad guy, her being bullied, and then this happening. Tragic. Like, it's absolutely tragic. So the whole, the costume incident was staged.
Yeah.
Mm.
The whole
Your
thing was
volume's gone
staged.
way down. I don't know if Mysterious has noticed that as well.
A little bit, but just
Oh. Don't know what's happened there. Last time it fixed itself, so let's just hope it fixes itself. It's probably to do with media on the pages. I don't know, because that's where it happened last time. Was when we tried to watch those YouTube clips that got pulled down
Yeah,
anyway
that's right.
of Darby Allin having
Yeah,
sex.
and then YouTube comes after you straight away.
Yeah, they do. Their algorithms are really, really good. On my Greg Does Things channel, I used because I thought there's fair use, right? Like, you're allowed to use like a tiny bit. I used that song, the Sound of Silence. I used that "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend," like just that line on like a close up of my face as in a portion of a YouTube video on Greg Does Things of my roller skating stuff, and boom, instantly like copyright strike, and I'm like, why? It's like a line, one line. What
You
if I
remind me
sang
of
it?
that Will Ferrell meme is it from Anchorman, where he's like, "I'm not even mad. I'm kind of impressed," or whatever that
Yeah.
thing is.
Because-
You're like you're not upset about it all. You're more impressed that they did that.
The second it's uploaded, it's like, boom, here's a strike. And I'm like, just the algorithm's so advanced to be able to scrape through it all that quickly. Throws me off, man. I respect and love our future robot overlords.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the answer to 2020. Everyone's
Robot
thinking it's gonna be
overlords?
everyone's thinking it's gonna be aliens. Some people are thinking that COVID
Aliens.
mutates and becomes zombies. I think that Jeff Bezos finally creates AI, and the AI starts wiping us out. That's why my computer was fucking up before.
Yes.
Watch out for the computers, y'all. Watch out for the computers. Let's talk about AEW and NXT. It's not counter programming.
Wait until what are they going to counter Fight for the Fallen with? Because they weren't planning on doing 3 weeks of specialty TV. So
Yeah,
that's coming up
because they're going
next week.
straight from Fighter Fest into Fight for the Fallen, right?
Yeah. So last year was like 2 weeks between, but this is like going straight after.
Yeah. So
And
they're gonna have a Starcade straight after Great American Bash.
You reckon?
What else can you do?
Well, they haven't announced anything yet, have they? I'm sure.
No.
But yeah, so we have
Fucking hell, they're desperate, aren't they? They just do anything to like.
we have 2
Like even
weeks.
going back to when AEW announced they're like October 2nd, whatever, we're going. We've got Dynamite. This show's going to be on Wednesday nights. This time slot, and of course WWE have to like. Yes, we're doing this as well.
Yes.
Not counter programming, guys.
This was always in the works. It's just a coincidence. It's
Smaller ad breaks.
Yeah, that's the.
Yep.
But then AEW do it as well because they have to compete, right?
It feels like
what do you
WWE
mean?
are on the
What do
back
they-
foot more
What do they
so.
counter with?
They do less ad breaks. They're like, no ad breaks for the first hour, or they do like picture. We're going picture in picture, so you don't have to miss any action because they don't want you to change the channel.
Well, they were doing picture in picture before WWE did it, didn't they?
I don't think AEW is as reactionary. Like, that seems to be like they kind of stuck to that for a while.
Taz
Yeah.
is a little bit reactionary.
Mm.
Right? That was good though. I really loved Taz's promo. I feel like Taz.
Yeah.
I said it when they paired him with Brian Cage. I was just like, this is the fucking best thing that could possibly happen. Taz is so underrated. So underrated as a mic guy, as a promo guy, which is weird because he became a commentator. But even when he was a wrestler, you know, his whole, you know, beat me if you can, survive if I let you.
Yep.
He's always been great. He's always been fucking great. And to have him in that sports agent type role, oh man. Because I even love how when he's breaking down the holds and stuff in the videos, like the
Technique by Taz or whatever it is.
yeah, all that shit. So good. I fucking love Taz. I'm a big Taz mark, and I'm glad he didn't get me too'd because that would suck. Because I love Taz, and I'm a big fan of his promo taking those shots. We don't run a sloppy ship. He's obviously making jokes about their response to COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If there's anything to take shots at, that's extremely valid.
Yeah, because Moxley obviously couldn't come to work because his wife has COVID-19 because she works for the sloppy ship. So, makes sense.
He doesn't have a case of COVID, he has a case of the chicken shits. So that was a nice line as well.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Very good. The entire thing was good. And Brian Cage just stands there. I liked, was it JR or was it Excalibur? One of them said, if I was Brian Cage, I'd never wear a shirt.
Yeah, I think Jim Ross said it.
I popped for that.
And Jericho was great on commentary all night that he was on commentary as well.
As always, whenever he's on commentary, it's a delight. But I just popped for that because I'm sitting there like in my lounge room watching, and it's the middle of winter here, obviously. Like it's summer in America, but it's winter here, and it's very, very cold. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if I looked like Brian Cage, would I wear a shirt right now? Probably not. I probably wouldn't. I agree with the guy. I would suffer the cold because you put that much work into the body. Why are you wearing a shirt? It doesn't make sense. Anyway.
What did you think of Fighter Fest in general? I thought the opening couple matches were great. Like the first match was the best match, and they just keep countering all these moves, and it's like fucking hell, like they're really going all out in this match. And it's the only MJF match that I've loved. I went
really?
four and a quarter stars for that match.
Wow. The only MJF match. MJF is a fucking legend.
Yeah.
I get invested in everything MJF does.
And just to have him start with the promo and then get into the match and just watching Luchasaurus and Wardlow just try and outdo each other.
Wardlow, oh man, who did he remind me of in this match? I was watching it and I was just like, Wardlow is like a young fucking, and now it's gone from my head. This was yesterday I watched it and it's gone from my head completely. But he's got some mannerisms about him where it reminds me of someone, and I can't put my finger on it now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm like, maybe it was Brian Cage even. He reminds me of Brian Cage.
A few people have said like Mason Ryan from WWE and like some older, like the stockier and WWE recruits from the early years. But yeah, there's a few of them. Like it was, yeah. Wardlow hasn't been in wrestling long, so it's just a very surprising thing.
He's got a future.
Yeah, he looked really good in that match.
He looked great in this match. So good in this match. I also really enjoyed the women's match on this show.
Yeah, Penelope Ford surprised me.
Yeah, right. Didn't know she had it in her, but I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah, I thought that when we got towards the end of the show, like the main event, the tag match, I guess with Omega and Paige, maybe they're holding back a little bit because they're gonna do it again next week.
Next week.
Yes.
Also, I will say though, having your mum drop you off in the minivan, that's like the best wrestling entrance ever.
Well, they're the best friends.
Yeah.
Because I think that episode that's pre-recorded, isn't it? So I think they recorded that the day after. So
I'm not sure
yesterday
if they did,
or whatever.
Did they? So they pre-recorded next week's. That makes sense. Makes sense that they do that.
No spoilers are out for that show yet.
No.
No, but there are spoilers floating around for the Great American Bash. We'll get to that in a second. So Great American Bash night 1 because they've made it into a 2-night thing to combat Fighter Fest, and it's
too
great
big for 2 days.
too big for one
Too
night.
big one night. Yeah.
Great American Bash as well. Just taking an old WCW name, which was a Dusty creation, Like, how
Yeah.
can you justify it at this point?
Well, Cody's kind of said in the past, like at least they're keeping his name alive. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, look, look, they own the rights to the name. They're free to use it, but why use it in this particular manner?
Mm.
Like,
Was
are you
July
trying
4th
to be a heel?
Time. Who's trying to be a heel? What do you mean?
The company. Are the company trying to play into the online stuff and just be like, yeah, fuck it, let's be the heel. Let's, like, why? I don't understand why you want people talking about it. Because, I mean, I guess we're talking about it, right? So, it works.
Into October, we might actually get a Halloween Havoc come back. We've had In Your House and Great American Bash. So they got to play on the nostalgia because everybody's over 50 that watches that show.
All
Because
that 90s nostalgia.
they did. They won the ratings again.
But the 1849 demo, right?
Except depending on what demographic you care about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
2
that-
weeks in a row
all
for
that-
overall
viewers,
viewership.
yeah, but they're all over 50. But they are the 90s nostalgia is strong. I think I'm going to go buy a pair of baggy jeans. I haven't worn baggy jeans in a long time. Do they even make them anymore? Everything's skinny fit. Everything.
Don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to have to hit up some op shops and find some baggy ass jeans. 90s, baby. It's coming back. We're bringing it back. So, Great American Bash Night 1. Did anyone here watch it?
No.
Bits and pieces. It wasn't the most engaging show, to be honest, which
I've heard
like
it
the
was
ratings
disappointing.
surprised me, to be honest.
I've heard it was disappointing. But we do have stuff to talk about for next week. So we do want to warn people, of course. Let's hit the stinger here.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
You have been warned. We're going to talk about spoilers. There has been a spoiler leak for next week's episode.
So we should preface like this kind of, like we mentioned Taz, like this kind of stuff kind of that set off the spoiler for this. So
the sloppy
yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they pre-taped Adam Cole versus Keith Lee. Now, first of all, we don't need spoilers for this because Keith Lee was part of the speaking out movement. I don't know if you can see on the screen here, but Keith Lee is black. WWE are nothing if not ridiculous corporate virtue signaling. We do nothing actually good, but we want to make you think we do good because charity is great public relations. Charity is great PR was the quote, right? So
that quote will never go away, Stephanie McMahon.
Is there any question whatsoever going? When this match was announced, I lolled so hard because, of course, Keith Lee's going to win. Of course he's going to win. You're
going to look pretty silly if you end up being wrong, Craig. But I couldn't give a rat's ass who wins this match, so.
No, but like, it's WWE. Do you really think they're not going to have Keith Lee win this match with everything going on in the world? They're going to do it, and then they're going to trot it out like, look how progressive we are. Look how amazing we are. We gave the title to a black man.
Mysterious, what do you think?
Like, thank you, Masters.
No, I'm in that mindset. Like, just the timing's right for them just to try and make a spectacle of something. And Adam Cole's NXT championship run has been the longest of anyone else. Like, there's not much more for him to do as champion, if anything. Then, yeah, the timing just worked out for this, and I don't see this being wrong.
Yeah, so in what was either a mistake or severe lack of judgment, Surav of the Indus Shur. Who the fuck are the Indus Shur?
Indus Shur, yeah. It's one of the tag teams in NXT that are probably not going to get a big push now after all this. But
how much would it suck to be this guy's tag partner? Like, fucking hell. I didn't even do it.
well, Forgotten Sons, where are they now after the tweet that one of them did, Jackson Riker? Just right. Jesus.
So, yeah, well, that's weird though, right? Like, why do people get upset at someone for supporting the president? I always thought that's what you do. You're like, I support our leader and hope that he makes the country a better place to live in for all people. I support him and hope he does well.
So how was this spoiled? Did somebody post the video?
We got it right here. There was a picture on Instagram.
He posted this photo.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, you could say, like, he felt
Right
okay to post it because they may have done both endings, but I'm sorry, to do pyro twice is very expensive.
This looks like a lot of pyro. And is that all
Yeah.
like confetti? Like, this looks like when Adam Brooks won the MCW title and they just shot the fucking gold shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like the
maybe he
cleanup.
thought it was live. Maybe he didn't realize.
Mm.
Right?
Oh, that would make some sense, yeah.
If he thought it was live and he's just
You
posted
have
the
a
stories.
brain fart and just like post
That's
it.
true.
Yeah. So for those listening in audio only, we do see a picture here of Keith Lee holding 2 titles and covered in confetti and fireworks going off. And
Why is this match pre-recorded? Is this half of the show all pre-recorded?
yeah,
Because of the multiple positive tests, so they're recording like 2 or so weeks at a
Okay.
time to give
So
people.
it's not a cinematic match at least.
Try and be more social distancing and
to
time
allow
away.
for social
But
distancing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we do have some conflicting reports coming off this over on SE Scoops. We have WWE officials furious over NXT Great American Bash spoiler leaking. So that would indicate that it's true. Brian Alvarez noted on the Brian and Vinny show that company officials within WWE are furious about the leak, and this was purely a mistake on the part of Gurjar. So you got that there, but we also have reports coming out of, who have we got? WrestleZone, saying that there's another signee claiming that 2 endings were taped for Adam Cole versus Keith Lee. So
Why?
This one.
Why would they? Why would they do 2
If
endings?
you're gonna pre-tape, why wouldn't you pre-tape 2 endings?
Yeah.
To avoid
Shouldn't they know what their
spoilers.
booking is? Why would they like decide to?
In
because
case,
Vince will change at the last minute.
in case, but also in case there's mistakes.
Why
like
do they
this.
do that with every single match?
In case there's mistakes like this as well, though, right?
Yeah, but also if this
don't
was
believe that at all.
yeah, so as I mentioned, that you have the pyro and the confetti and everything else there, but if this was like by design, then you surely would give this leak to like the manager of Indushare, like someone else, like to make it seem more legitimate. I don't know.
Well, like here's the thing, and I'm the conspiracy guy, conspiracy Greg here. There's no way this is planned. There's no way they.
No.
That's not at all. Not at all. I believe the first story. I believe they're pissed. I believe this guy's not getting a push. But also, so this was Performance Center trainee EJ Nduka says, "We don't run a sloppy shop. 2 endings, 2 stories, find out next week." So he's trying to capitalize on the Taz thing as well. Like, they're just trying to capitalize on the better show. That's all. They're just trying to do whatever they can. Nice try, EJ. I don't know who you are, but well played.
We probably won't ever find out who he is.
Probably not. Like, that's what I mean. Like, we got these names. I don't know who these fucking people are.
Well, they've probably got 200 people in that performance center.
Which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk WWE Mysterious. What do you got for us? We got I wanted to talk about Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's made his debut, right?
Yes. He
Lawyered up Matt
made his
Riddle.
debut against AJ Styles last week before, yeah.
Yeah. And so I've got an article here that I came across at SB Nation, Cage Side Seats. If you thought there was any chance WWE would slow down its push of Matt Riddle following recent allegations of misconduct, you would be wrong. So he's still winning. He's going undefeated from the looks of things. I hope they build up a streak with him. You know?
Well, they don't have Brock, and they do want that. They want the fighters on SmackDown still, so they do want to push that kind of angle. But yeah, like
He needs to retire Brock Lesnar, right?
he needs to.
He has to.
Yeah.
And do the Goldberg match.
Oh boy. But yeah, like as we mentioned with speaking out before at the start, just how WWE knew about the allegations made against him and how nothing new's been presented by the looks of it. So it seems like in his case, it seems like he's been very upfront and there's nothing new.
Right.
So that's
he
why they're
told management
continuing
about
on.
this. There's something. It's going through the courts or something. You said he's got lawyers on it.
Yeah.
And so there's room there for maybe it didn't. I don't know. I didn't follow this story at all.
I don't want to say yes or no right now. So
yeah, I was unplugged. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the Enzo thing ended up being false, right? Like, that came out later that was a load of crap.
Hmm.
And he still gets cancelled. I mean, he also gets cancelled because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in general,
That's
yeah.
the main reason.
And he put out a rap song about it. But but yeah, so there's some, I don't know. It's tricky, but you know, if he's innocent, then retire Brock Lesnar, please. And the other article that I wanted to ask you about, Swamp Fight? What is So I don't watch WWE anymore. People know this. What the fuck is
Okay.
Swamp Fight?
All right. So what's happened is Bray Wyatt, on top of being the Fiend and having the Firefly Funhouse, apparently he can bring back the dead. A couple weeks ago, he brought back Swamp cult leader Bray Wyatt, and we have Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt are going to fight again at Extreme Rules, which is being dubbed as the Horror Show.
Right.
And now they're going to have this. And this is a non-title match as well, so this leads us to think that it's a cinematic match between these two.
Well, I mean, it's called a Swamp Fight, so
Yes.
I imagine it would be. So the
Yeah.
theory that they're rolling with here on who's this? SE Scoops. The theory they're rolling with here is that it's going to be a cinematic match. The three faces of White. So they're doing kind of like a Foley thing. Now he's got three faces of Foley, and they're going to have this Bray Wyatt beat Braun Strowman, leading to a title match against the Fiend.
Yeah.
Is the theory they're working with here. In which case, like, I like the cinematic stuff, and because my WWE Network automatically renewed because I forgot to cancel it like a goddamn dumbass, so they got another $15 off me.
Yeah, I messaged you a couple days ago,
Yes,
and
you
you
did.
fucked up. So
You did. It's my fault. I meant to check it, but because I've been unplugged from this stuff and I've just been doing my own thing and I've been playing video games and stuff and skating and not paying attention, I didn't cancel. And then I got a notification yesterday on my watch that was like PayPal, just boom, $15 paid to WWE Network. And I was like, fuck!
So is there anything on the network that we should watch before the next week? Like, should we go like watch like a pay-per-view from like 2002 or something? And
Well,
just
we do.
talk about that.
I like their documentaries. We need to have a look through their documentaries. The Undertaker one, which we're going to talk about shortly, was great. So I don't know. If anyone has any documentary suggestions, or if you have a specific show that you want us to watch, drop it in the comments or send us an email. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know what we should watch on the network, because we have it for another month. So we may as well fucking use it. So also in WWE land, Kairi Sane may not be in WWE land for long.
Yeah.
Was she going back to Stardom? Because when Bushi Road bought him, weren't they talking about trying to bring all those girls back?
Yep. That was one of the goals. Yeah.
So is her contract coming up soon?
According to Diva Dirt, who are quoting The Observer from the looks of things. So according to The Observer, let's get the credit right. I'm looking at Diva Dirt, but it's from The Observer. That she may wrestle for another year in Japan and then retire. So there's been no talk about it of late. There had been talk that once her contract with WWE was up, she would wrestle one more year in Japan and then retire. So that'd be a big get for Bushi Road if she was to go back to Stardom after having spent time in the E. But she's out with injury at the moment, but apparently she's cleared.
Yeah.
And maybe going back to Japan, but she's definitely wanting to let her contract expire. They'll probably tack some time on for her injury
Oh, yeah.
before they.
And then there were rumors that they wanted her to be like a advocate, that her or a like a PR person to try and help set up a. They still want to do NXT Japan, and they want some kind of person to be the in between.
Right. So this could be false flags, and maybe she's going to go back and do NXT Japan instead, and so she is going to go back to Japan.
Just nobody's trying to set up new companies while everything's going on right now, though. For the foreseeable future.
If anyone was going to do it,
Everyone's going to do it.
if anyone was going to do it, it'd be WWE.
Well, weren't WWE looking to get Jun Akiyama from All Japan to be one of their guys to
They've
run
tried
something
to
for
get a
them?
bunch of people.
And he's just he's just signed a thing to go to DDT.
Yeah, they've tried to get a bunch of people, but who knows? Who knows what's going on with NXT Japan? Now let's get into the stories that you brought to us, Mysterious.
So with NXT UK, like they think it's still going to continue, but the future of it is very much up in the air. You have the champion, the NXT UK champion Volta. Apparently, WWE Vince McMahon actually want him to be on the main roster, and he's just nah. I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Well, he said from the beginning, like when he signed his deal,
Mhm.
he said, "I will not move to America."
He was got his training, his school, and everything, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he still works for WXW as a trainer there.
As far as I know, it's in his contract that he won't get called up to main roster. He won't have to move to America. He's not going to fly back and forth every week. He wants to stay where he is. So,
Good on him.
yeah. I mean, look, that was the thing about that period of signings when, WWE obviously knew AEW was coming down the pipe, and they were just trying to get every hot name they could. He really took advantage and was like, "Yeah, I'll do it, but
On my terms.
on my
yeah.
terms."
Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking good on him.
Was he in a Royal Rumble or something? Didn't he get punked out in like a minute in some match?
Survivor
he's
Series.
He has
Survivor
been
Series.
severely misused by
Yeah.
WWE. Like, just trash. Except on NXT UK, but no one watches it because, again, trash. Like, just no one watches it. I don't know. No, NXT UK is actually a solid show, to be fair. A solid show filled with rapists. Fun times. Let's not get dark and heavy again. All your faves are problematic. Moving on. This was the one that made me chuckle. Hit us with it, Mysterious.
So we talked about Taz calling WWE a sloppy shop and how it's well documented, how a lot of leaks and everyone else calling WWE's testing process a shit show, and how it's all like you had people in the crowds who weren't wearing masks, like the superstars who weren't wearing masks on TV for ages. But according to their sales EVP, they are leading the charge in the pandemic era of wrestling, that they are the hope that is persevering through these dark times. Yeah. Yeah.
We're in the business of putting smiles on people's faces all around the world, Brody said.
And yeah, this guy is a complete fuckhead.
Yeah.
I listened to this audio and it just got
Yeah.
me so wound up that, we just want to distract people from the real world and they watch wrestling and blah, blah, blah. But nobody's fucking watching WWE. Like, how far down has their ratings gone in the last few months?
Yeah.
Like, it's just such bullshit. Fuck him.
I've legitimately seen Facebook live streams with more viewers. Like, for real. Like,
Not this one, though.
no, not this one.
No.
Absolutely not this one. But there have been Facebook live streams with more viewers. But I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I agree with you in theory, but it's all corporate nonsense and it's all sanitized and it's no, you're not a beacon of hope
It's
for
actually
anyone.
not sanitized enough, believe it or not.
Exactly.
Oh man, I wish I had a badum.
Yeah.
Why don't I have that? I only have the sad trombone. I don't have the drum shots. Yeah, not sanitized enough. That's why everyone has to wear masks now, Mysterious.
Yeah, they're actually enforcing it now. So they're $500 for your first offense if you're not wearing, $1,000 for your second. If you've been watching Raw, SmackDown, NXT lately, you've seen that they're all wearing their masks. They're all wearing their WWE shop mask to promote that, which what they should have been doing from the beginning. But
Yeah,
Wasn't there only two people that wasn't wearing their mask on one of these shows, and one of them was Indy Hartwell or something?
I didn't see that. But
It's like, it's all right. I'm Australian. We don't have any in Australia. We're fine.
Yeah. And $1,000 though, that's got to because it's just the NXT trainee got people mainly, isn't it?
Anyone in the crowd.
That's gonna be a lot of money for those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a serious amount of money for them. We're looking at so this is Cage Side Seats that we're getting this from, and
Yeah.
this particular article anyway that you guys can see on the screen. So WWE officially mandated the masks for all talent and staff except those on camera. If you're in the crowd, you're on camera, so that's poor wording.
Yeah.
Starting with the Raw taping today, July 3rd, anyone not wearing one will be fined $500 for the first offense, double to $1,000 for the second. public health experts agree that wearing a mask is one of the most effective tools. But a few weeks ago, they said it wasn't, right? And then Fauci's like, no, but we said that because we wanted hospitals to get them first. And it's like, well, why didn't you just say, people, we do need to have masks, but don't hoard them. Hospitals need it first. Like, just fucking say what you actually need to fucking say.
Leading the charge, Greg. Leading the charge.
America? Cancelled. That's it. America 2020 is the death of America. I don't know. I mean, it's July 4th right now. Happy birthday, America.
If they want to spin this in any positive way, they should at least say that the money will go to some sort of COVID-related thing.
Yeah, COVID relief.
It says, we're just going to dock your pay instead.
And keep that money. No, if it went to COVID relief or it went to helping local employment or something like that.
Something like that.
Give it to a good cause. I don't know. It's funny to me though. But the funny thing about this article is, as a bonus, it means Austin Aries and Low Key won't be back anytime soon, which is funny. But I have a feeling we're going to disagree on some of this stuff because, I'm with Low Key, man. If you're a healthy individual, right? And I know, the whole idea is you protect everyone and herd immunity and all that sort of stuff. But reducing oxygen intake to your body is bad for you long term. So wearing a mask for extended periods of time is bad for you long term, right?
Just stay fucking home then. You don't need to wear a mask in your own
exactly.
house.
I support that. I support everyone's right to stay the fuck home. But I'm just saying, I believe in the American experiment, but it's clearly fucking failing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately. But the funniest part about this, part about WWE mandating masks, is our favorite libertarian governor,
Mayor of Knox County.
Mayor, not governor, sorry, Mayor. Mayor of Knox County, Mayor Kane. He casts the only vote against the mask mandate in Knox County. Kane, of course, famous for wearing a mask.
Yeah. So with this vote, did it have to be 100% agreement, or was it just the majority?
No,
it was
just
a majority.
So it doesn't actually matter then. It's just he's a fuckhead.
Yeah.
No, he's standing on principle. He's standing on principle, and he doesn't believe that anyone has the right to tell anyone what to do. And look, at the end of the day, I shared a post on Facebook today that I agree with wholeheartedly. All of you, the people that are saying you have to wear a mask and the government should crack down on people who don't wear masks and stuff. And this all applies to America because obviously we handled our shit here in Australia. So it doesn't fucking matter for us. Yeah. This is all America. Yeah. But for those people that are like, you need to blah, 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 I guarantee you they're drinking a giant fucking soda, right? Like a supersized Macca's meal. You know what I mean?
I was like, where are you going with this? You're going on down to the health thing.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if you're going to mandate health things, let's come into your house, let's get rid of all the shit that you're eating and fill you up with veggies only. You know what I mean? How far do you take it? How far do you take it?
Get the FDA onto this now.
Yeah, how far do you take it? And and that's where I do agree with him on principle of being like, no, the government shouldn't tell you to wear a mask. But you should probably wear a fucking mask when you're around other people.
And private businesses should be able to tell you to wear a fucking mask as well. If you're going into someone's business and you see these videos of the Karens going crazy that they won't let me in, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Private business should be able to tell you cannot come into our premises without wearing a mask. Private residences should be able to tell you cannot come onto my property without wearing a mask. But the government doing it is an affront to your rights. It is.
It's all just come down to political nonsense, though.
Everything's politicized now.
Everything.
That's the thing. Everything's politicized, and it's all bullshit.
You'd think that all the Donald Trump supporters are the ones that's not wearing masks. They're going to die out enough that then surely he can't win this election. The older ones are the ones that want to vote for him and everything. Typically, the older white people. If they're getting sick and dying, then the votes that come in should be the Democrat votes.
But true. Conspiracy Greg here though. Conspiracy Greg, not Greg does things. Conspiracy Greg. It's a different character.
I'm wondering how you're going to flip this to their negative now.
The wearing of masks, right? Isn't it funny that the ones who are saying that you should wear the masks and you're a virtuous, good person if you wear a mask, they're the same people who will, if they lose in November, want to burn it down and tear everything down and just riot through the streets and pull down statues and destroy people's businesses and set fire to entire cities, right? Wearing a mask, all of a sudden, it's not just virtuous, but it's also helping you achieve anarchy and just ruinous destruction of everything without being able to be identified. You know what I mean?
Well, the masks were definitely helpful during the protests as well, the Black Lives Matter stuff. So
yeah, it's just I'm just saying, Conspiracy Greg thinks it's a little bit convenient that all of a sudden you're a good person if you hide your identity.
I'm sure they'll all sort themselves out eventually. You know, there's nothing we can do about what's happening in America. Like
Civil War
let's
II
look after
Electric
ourselves.
Boogaloo. It's happening, and it's going to go down, and America are going to wipe themselves out. China's the new superpower. I've started learning Mandarin. It's
You're welcoming your overlords. So whether it be computers, whether it be AI or the Chinese, you're welcoming open
I'm prepared. I'm learning Mandarin. I'm learning binary. Either way, I'm good to go. So I welcome our new overlords. We have one more thing to talk about, I believe. Looking at the run sheet here,
Undertaker stuff.
Yeah,
or
Undertaker, the last ride. So in our in this week's wrestling related content, we decided to watch Undertaker, the last ride.
Yes, you decided we'll watch this, so
yeah,
I can't remember
6 hours
anything.
Later,
It's
I
been
regretted it.
It's been weeks since I've watched this thing, so
I watched it today. So it was good though. Like WWE should make more documentaries and less wrestling.
yes.
Well, they are sports entertainment. You would think like this would be a no-brainer, but
Well, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, so I'll just say everything that I can think of. The first 3 episodes are really good. You're getting into a lot of Undertaker's like, do I still have it in me? Can I come back? Let's set up a wrestling ring in some sort of boat shed somewhere.
Yeah.
You get one of the colognes, whatever it is,
Primo,
Epico, one of those guys train. Like that stuff's all really good, and then you see him come back for the bad matches like the Brock Lesnar and the Goldberg and all that sort of. Then there was the tag match where Shawn Michaels came back.
Yep.
So you get a lot of that stuff, and that's all very entertaining. And the dynamic with Michelle McCool, and she's like, "Oh, great, he's got surgery, so now he's more mobile, but now he wants to wrestle more." And you just can't stop this man with this addiction to not wanting to finish on a bad match.
Yeah.
And the stuff with Vince McMahon is all very interesting as well. Just watching those two together,
The interaction,
very
yeah.
chummy. But Undertaker with his gun-toting T-shirts and all that sort of stuff was wearing a bit thin. And when it came time for the episode 4 and 5, the last ones, it's just so many people saying, "Oh God, the Undertaker is so fucking great." Like everybody's just loving the Undertaker so much.
Yeah.
Oh, the surgeon. Oh, I get to operate on the Undertaker.
So you reckon it should have been like 4 episodes, maybe a bit tighter?
Yeah, it's like for 3 episodes already, we've spent all this time with the Undertaker. Then all you're doing is repeating everything from the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes added 0.
Yeah.
And then they even filled time by just showing the AJ Styles match.
I did enjoy seeing the behind the scenes takes of him deciding he wanted to work with AJ Styles and him and Michelle McCool, their whole dynamic and stuff. I enjoyed all of that. And I texted Alan's wife, like, I kind of hate him, which means he's doing his job. Like, I enjoyed all that stuff. But yeah, all of the circle jerking of The Undertaker's The Undertaker. By episode 3, we understood that The Undertaker was a big fucking deal. Like,
I think episode 3 started with like the origin stuff, didn't it? It went like back to his original appearance.
Survivor Series.
Like, I was like, oh, this is weird. Now we're going back and we're going to see some of this really old stuff. And that was good.
Showed him making the casket for Kamala.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It was just structured a bit strange. Like, oh, we're not sure what we're going to do for this episode. Let's do some origin stuff. And I think they showed a little bit of the movie that he was in. Wasn't that Suburban Commando? I think they showed. There was a tiny bit of footage from that episode, I think. So now that's a movie we should do for the podcast.
Oh boy,
that's Hulk Hogan's best movie. That's funny.
No wonder you don't talk.
I do have a movie for us. I have a movie for us for next week. So before I get to that, though, Mysterious, anything you want to say about Undertaker: The Last Ride?
I do agree with Ben that at a point it's like everyone's going through the motions and they're all saying they're thank you takers, which it's warranted, valid. But yeah, for the end bit, just to say like, I think I'm done unless Vince calls me back, but I'm done, which kind of sums up the whole 5 episodes that we've watched. Just like this man, just like he could let go, but he doesn't want to disappoint the boss, and it's a weird relationship. It seems like a very they've been through the trenches together, but it's not a healthy relationship. That's my take.
Yeah, he'll be back.
On SmackDown, they did the whole "thank you, Taker" thing. So it's like, oh right, so now Undertaker's retired. Like, I don't believe for a second that he's wrestled his last match.
No,
and
not at all.
Because there's now Sting's blowing some smoke, and
we
might get it.
The Sting thing's been going around for ages. I don't think it's actually going to happen.
But they could do it in the
if they do a
cinematic
cinematic
world. Maybe that's the only way it would happen at this point.
They could do it in a cinematic match, I guess. But if you're going to do it in a cinematic match, like, why not just, have him wrestle Sting's hologram or have Sting wrestle Undertaker as a hologram? Let's stretch it out. Have a match with the hologram first, and then that wasn't real Undertaker. You know what I mean? Like, you can do all sorts of things. CGI that shit.
They could bring back the Underfaker with the brown gloves.
All right, so I do have a movie for us. So this was
Is this off Tubi?
No. We've got a Daily Motion link. So I don't know how legal it is, but this was suggested by JT Robinson. Just gonna throw him under the bus right after I say I don't know if it's legal. But we got a Daily Motion link. I looked everywhere for another source for the movie and I couldn't find one. Have you guys heard of Grunt the Wrestling?
Yes, I have. This was a movie I was going to watch for the Bamcast. I was going to nominate it because I saw that it was on Daily Motion.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of this one, no.
So here it is, a documentary crew. So this is from 1985, so it's an old one. A documentary crew sets out to unravel one of professional wrestling's most closely guarded secrets. Is former champion Mad Dog Joe DiCurso now wrestling as The Mask? Now, I want us to watch the trailer for this, but obviously I don't want the videos and stuff to get taken down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the ending stinger. We'll give our social medias. We'll do that. I'll hit the ending stinger, and after that, we'll come back. We'll watch the trailer. You guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Where can people find you guys online?
At Asia Mania Pod on Twitter, and that'll do. Mysterious?
You guys can find me at Miss Mysterious on Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter anymore. Not Health right now. Grapple, and maybe I don't know. I've learned a lot just unplugging at the moment from this past couple of weeks of wrestling. So but Facebook, Instagram, definitely hit me up.
I am at Greg Does Things on YouTube now, where I'm doing things. I'm going to have my gaming stuff there, also my skating stuff as I'm learning to skate. It's good fun. I'm Greg Does Tweets on Twitter sometimes. Greg Does Gram on Instagram. Greg Does Radio on Station Head. There's so many social media networks. Greg Does Things in general. And you can find us collectively at the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter, because wrestling wouldn't fit. The B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe. 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.
Catch you guys.
I think I actually brought that in too soon. I think so. It sounded off for the podcast anyway, and I'm probably going to have to edit it. But we're still live. Let's watch this trailer and see what the hell we're getting into with this movie.
All right, here we go.
The champion, Skull Crusher Johnson, is gouging Mad Dog's eyes. Mad Dog staggers back. Skull Crusher adds a shot to the throat.
In 1979, an event occurred that changed the history of mankind as we know it. It was the year of the great championship battle between Skull Crusher Johnson and Mad Dog Joe DiCurso.
And is slingshotting himself around the ring, building up momentum with a full head of steam. He heads for Mad Dog Joe, but the champion goes headfirst into the ropes.
In a remarkable demonstration of wrestling artistry, Mad Dog employed a new and devastating combat technique.
Oh no!
He decapitated his opponent.
What the fuck?
Decapitated the champion!
Being a deeply sensitive sportsman, Mad Dog fell into a deep depression.
What the
and
fuck?
120 feet into the San Francisco Bay. But did he really?
Is this meant to be a comedy?
Today, every man, woman, and child on the planet asks the number one question. Is the vicious new monster called The Mask in reality Mad Dog Joe DeCurso?
He's got Gene Simmons style makeup.
At last, a motion picture reveals the whole mind-snapping truth.
Mad Dog Joe? Yes, the man. You are an idiot!
Follow investigative director Leslie Uggams and creepy Dr. Tweed as they fearlessly expose the romantic world of championship wrestling.
Oh, movie trash, huh? We're not reporters. We're making a documentary about Joe's life.
You'll see the pop stars and the punks, the beautiful people, the ugly people, the psychotic people.
Is that Kamala? Is there any actual wrestlers in
I
it?
think that was Kamala.
Now, all the spectacle and scuzz,
I like the pain.
all the magnificence and monstrosity.
Was that Iron Sheik that I just saw?
Busting movie.
Do you think there's going to be a decapitation?
But
Well,
Do you think there's going to be a decapitation? No. Well, I want there to be. Wow. Okay. So,
the lead actor's name is Magic Schwartz. Like, it's not the character; it's the actor's name is Magic Schwartz.
oh wow.
He's in.
So,
He's in the Stallone and Van Damme movies.
that's
Bloody
what we're going to
hell.
watch next week. So
all right.
that'll be interesting.
I'm keen. I'm keen after that. All right.
Let's see how it goes. I'll send you guys the link for that one. And anyone watching or listening or whatever, if you want the link, let me know, and you can watch it as well. And then we'll be talking about that next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, the B Plus Wrestling Podcast live. Thanks for coming in and checking it out, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Catch you around.
See you.